An interesting video emerged on social media, actually on OnlyFans yesterday. I'm not an OnlyFans person, and most people I know who saw it didn't see it on OnlyFans. They saw it on Twitter, the clip on Sydney Starr's Twitter page. Sydney Starr is a very popular, I'm not sure, a social media model, maybe, is actress, model.
All of that is a stretch, both popular and model. That's a stretch.
How would you describe Sydney Starr?
I wouldn't, but I would.
Wow.
That she is someone who desperately wants to be famous.
Yeah.
She is an attention-seeking,
clout chasing
firecracker, who is most known for showing up on Zeus as a thirsty clout chaser.
Okay. This is helpful because I wasn't really familiar with Sydney Starr until this came up, but Sydney Starr is a Black trans woman, correct?
That too.
And a few years ago, she had some pictures from a photo shoot with Darius McCrary, who many of you know as Eddie Winslow from Family Matters, a popular television show from the 90s. And there were rumors that they were dating. And of course, he said, that's ridiculous. As a Black straight man, I can have friends who are straight, queer, cis, trans. I can run the gamut. And we're just modeling what acceptance could look like. Well, interestingly enough, Sydney Starr posted on her Twitter, and apparently an ad for her OnlyFans account, this steamy footage, which is actually from a few years ago, I believe, with her and Darius McCary.
Yeah, the same day.
The same day, actually, yes. The same day that she said that they were just friends. I have friends.
I don't do this with my friends.
I don't do this with my friends. This looks like more than friendship. The question is, what's the goal of releasing this? What are they trying to communicate to us? And why now? Is this just cynical clout chasing? Is this trying to create a controversy? Is this a relationship? Because up until now, Darius McCary has said that he's just friends with this person and that he is out in the world doing whatever he does and that this is just a friend of his. So Hope, I'm going to start with you. How do you make sense of this release?
I don't make sense of it. It's two people who are on their last leg trying to get a little bit of clout from whatever's left over. If we recall, Chingy is still trying to rebuild his career off of the fact that this girl somehow made him a pariah to the community. And every single time...
Okay, this is helpful. So this is the woman who said that she had a relationship with Chingy.
Yeah.
Yes, and let me be very clear about that.
She has denied that consistently up until this moment.
That's right.
Let me be very clear. There's a lot of nuance to that particular situation that I think has just completely been either buried, NDA'd away, and all of that other stuff. But what I do notice, and what I can tell you that the pattern is if you notice that every time Chingy resurfaces to blame her for his demise, she also resurfaces with some foolishness in order to count. So they've been using each other. This has been a symbiotic relationship since that entire post was made years ago, right? There are people who have made it out of transgender allegations and still had careers that flourish regardless of people knowing about what's happened. So Chingy, the fact that you keep trying to blame this girl for the reason why you haven't had a hit since 2000 is ridiculous. But also the fact that at the same time, you keep saying that you don't want to see her and that you're upset about the fact that she's being platformed. You're giving her reason to be platformed when you bring her up instead of talking about your new music. This is the reason why she's on here promoting this OnlyFans. Darius is also in a space where after all of the allegations about his drug use, out of the allegations about the fact that he can't really act anymore, nobody's checking for him, he's on his last leg trying to make sure that he can also sustain himself and get whatever checks are left for him. And at this point, it seems like both of them have decided that the only way that they can cop a check is through OnlyFans. And that's cute for them. But what I don't like and what I want to flag for people, and what I want to flag for the trans community at large, is that there are folks like this that have hung around, that have used us, that have been able to sit in your face while knowing that this is what was going on. Because there's no way that I would have maintained a friendship, a relationship, and let alone 3+ years later release this footage after that man publicly said to the world, we are nothing more than just friends, and that it is preposterous to think about the idea that we would be anything more than that while we did this.
That's right.
Wait, but Hope, what do you say to the person who says, well, maybe they are just friends and this is just acting? He's acting.
Let me tell you something. And I want to make this personal for you. If you and I said that we were just friends and this video surfaced and you said, but we're just acting, Hope is just my friend. We were just acting. Would that be something that you could go home and tell your wife that she would understand? Would that be something that your friends on the block would understand? Would that be something that your mom or any rational person walking through the world, if they saw you and I interacting in that way, would you be able to explain that away? Hell no. So I'm not gonna lend that to the idea of this is just for OnlyFans or just for acting, because even to engage in an OnlyFans a scene with somebody, you would have to be attracted to that person in some way, shape, or form. There's no way that I'm going to drop trowel, that I'm going to be kissing on somebody, allowing myself to be filmed in this way, and have no regard for the fact that I find this person attractive.
That's fair.
So
that's fair. And I watched 10 years of Family Matters. He ain't that good at acting. he didn't even play Eddie Winslow that good.
I mean, he was no Steve Urkel.
No, he was not. So David, how do we interpret this then, right? Is this, because Hope is reading this as a kind of cynical attempt to get at the last fumes of stardom. Is it possible to read this as him simply saying, hey, I wasn't comfortable before with a public relationship? If that's what it is, I don't know what this is. But is it possible to say, hey, this is now me being comfortable saying to the world that this is somebody who I care about and who I have a romantic relationship with? Could we read this generously?
We could. And I don't know why we would do that labor. Words matter. And if he felt that way, he could communicate exactly that. This feels like a Justice with Judge Ebony K. Williams moment where it's either you are lying, Darius, when you said, this is just my friend, then are you lying now when you say that there was something more? So when were you lying? Either way, you're a liar. And I don't know that I have an incentive to otherwise believe you. To step away from both of them, I do think that Hope is right. We're almost in June. They're trying to get ahead of Pride Pippin to get those rainbow coins. For me, the most dangerous part of this is that this, like many other moments in our culture, Hope, let's go back to our Dave Chappelle conversations. This contributes to, one, Black men, straight men who love women, and that includes trans women, thinking that they have to hide the fact that they love trans women or practice trans amorous relationships. That to me is the most dangerous aspect of this idea that one should be ashamed of or shouldn't otherwise be proud and rushing to proclaim loving someone who shows up in a way that allows them to feel all of the things that they deserve to be met with in relationship with somebody else. And that's dangerous, it's disrespectful, and it makes me want to punch him in his mouth.
Wow, that escalated quickly.
Honestly, it escalated quickly because usually what happens is that brothers who actually show up in relationships with trans women unapologetically, publicly, they get jumped. They get bullied, and it gets recorded on films. People watch them literally get terrorized for showing up in love because niggas do shit like this.
Absolutely. And we have footage of that when it happened a couple of years back with a guy named Reese, who openly stated that he was in love with his girl that was trans, and he got jumped publicly on a Baltimore street. And we forgot that, but that was the thing that happened. We've had issues where there's videos that have been people telling their folks that they are openly into a trans girl, and then a group of their brothers, cousins, and everybody else come out of the room and jump them into submission. But then you have guys like this that can come and volleyball back and forth and say, oh, it was just for OnlyFans, oh, it was just for a coin, oh, I was just acting. And there's no consequence for that except for the fact that you might be judged in the court of public opinion.
Yeah, just keep it player. Keep it player. People have the opportunity to, as long as it's consensual, as long as you're safe and whatever that means for you, you're not impinging upon somebody else's ability to do what they want to do. Love in the way that you want to love. But this idea that people are being deceptive and duplicative in ways that contribute to harm for already vulnerable members of our community, we should not tolerate, celebrate, or allow people to profit from pain in that way. There are too many people. Candace Owens is doing that enough for us. We don't need to have folks who are otherwise clout chasing or trying to revive things contributing to that as well.
So how does this end in your mind, Hope? This I don't know what you call it, media spectacle, this OnlyFans campaign, does it end with it just fading away and no one caring? Does it end with a real conversation about trans Black trans women? Does it end? I mean, what do you think we ultimately get from all of this?
My thing is there has to be a promotion of things that are positive. And I've been saying this all the time, and I center myself in this conversation quite often. People love to have scandalous conversations about the ways in which transgender women love. But when we're in loving relationships and when we're married and we have very healthy depictions of the way that we show up, people ignore that. I've been doing a full rollout for my wedding that has included 5 photo shoots in 6 different locations, all international, and have an entire movie coming out. And not a single blog has picked that up because it is not toxic. My husband is not ashamed of me. Nobody is scared to walk down the street holding my hand. But the second that these people get up here and there's some scandal and there's some weirdness to talk about and there's some shame to be concluded from it, y'all want to platform these stories about trans women because it comes with the ideation that we are not women, that we only embody the worst parts of what it means to be a woman, and that all we seek is attention. It's not about the ideations of attention. It's about the ideations of what you all want people to believe about us at large, which is the reason that Flame Monroe keeps getting invited back to the Breakfast Club, which is the reason that Sydney Starr is who she is in the world, which is a part of the reason why people only seek out Amaya Scott for her beauty and not for any of the things that she has to say, which is a part of the reason why Janet Mock has been pushed to the wayside, which is a part of the reason why whenever Angelica Ross speaks the truth, she gets called a black bitch, which is a part of the reason why the only time that we see Laverne is when they want somebody that's going to be able to say the PC things that white people are comfortable with. But nobody wants to have conversations about trans people who actually identify and look just like all of the other cisgender women that you love, because to do that puts us in a space where you have to say that a woman is a woman is a woman, and nobody wants to do that yet.
Wow. I think that's the period right there.